Okay, guys, we've been kind of lacking on our videos here recently, so we're going to kind of go through this job with you. This is Mr. Ives Waters from Chicago, Illinois. This is a Texas Ranger 696, I think. Yeah, 696F. This is a pretty cool little radio, okay? Um, one of the ones that I say are underestimated or undervalued. This is a really nice radio, okay? But you got to tap the goodies out of it. And at this point in the game, they've started to get a little bit old. So where I've got this one, I'm just going to do a quick overview of if you're gonna go through a radio that's this old and do something to it that is gonna make it act extremely different, you got to take everything you're doing into consideration, and you need to make the radio in its own right as perfect as you can before you make any modifications, like sticking one of these guys in there. Now, this is, everybody sees it. You can get them on the internet. They're cheap. You can get them unmodified, and anybody can throw one in, but they're not going to do the full goodie. So you guys keep buying them, keep sticking them in, and wondering why you're only getting 30, 40 watts out of them, or wonder why they sound the way they do because you didn't retune the transformers. 411 meters. You have to do that. I don't care what anybody tells you. I've been playing with these boards for almost a year now. I've sold a lot of them, but I modify them. So they are not the same boards you get out of the box. What we're going to do is, this radio is not in bad shape. It's just got the typical, I don't know if you can see it real good in the video, but typical stuff that builds up underneath the knobs. The face is not damaged, but it's got probably, I'm guessing, some smoke film on it, well, there you go. There's a good shot. See underneath the knobs. Okay. The face isn't damaged. Sometimes you guys press the knobs on so hard that it digs into the aluminum. And that's when they're done. You try to reface them, but this one's in really good shape. So we're going to show you this one now. Now, when you tear a radio down to this point, this one had a really loose mic jack. And a couple of these guys I'm not real pleased with, so we're going to see if we're going to change those or not. But when you got it down this far, man, look, take some time. Clean all your knobs. Take the face while it's broke down, and we're going to go from one side of this thing to the other. We're going to make sure it's clean. We're going to get all the smoke, all the fingerprints, all the whatever from the last 15 plus years, I'm guessing, on this radio. And then here, I'm going to show you a couple tips. See these pads, these felt pads? When you take the face off, this is what you see. See the dust, okay? Now, there's two easy ways to neaten this part of it up. This is a typical sign of its age, okay? If you don't know a radio or know when it was made, these little guys will kind of tell you how long it's been sitting out of its box at best from the dust buildup. There's two ways you can clean these up. You can take a toothbrush and hit them and knock the dust off of them. Me, I just go, kind of knock some of the dust off and flip the damn things over. Now, see how nice and black that is? Okay, just flip the damn things over. It looks nicer behind the switch. Just put those back, just boom. Now behind that switch, you're going to see a nice, and you'll have to tuck it in, whatever. But I mean, you see, it's a simple matter of little details like that are going to make a radio shine when you're done. These radios are nice. Now this one's going to get the Stinger board. On this radio, any two-handled rack Galaxy style, Texas Ranger, RCI style base unit, we're calling it a DX Turbo conversion because a lot of guys over the years wanted a Galaxy Saturn Turbo or the RCI 2990. The new 2995 I just kind of come through here, I am not impressed with, but like all of them, I'll figure out how to make it jump. So this board has been modified the way we modify it, and it is going to go into the bottom panel just like we do a Super Duty conversion on a Cobra 2000. So when this is done, Stinger board will be there. His standby switch will be right there. So while I've got it apart, we're going to clean every lens. All the lenses. We're going to clean all this stuff. Okay? And then tighten all the controls, do whatever, flip all these guys around, make it look nicer. And when we're done, this is going to be 50, 60, 70 watts a peak, I guess. And right now it's like 25 or 30. So realistically 20, 25. But I mean, everybody's got different opinions. I just tell you what they do on my meters, and my meters are pretty accurate. So I'm just gonna, give you my reads. I did a Cobra 2000 for a gentleman that was doing 65 watts here. He got it on his meter, said it was doing 110. Guys, on your different antennas and your different loads and your different lengths of coax in between all your goods, it's gonna affect the way your meter reads. And then if you don't have a meter that's, I mean, this is a decent peak reading meter. This isn't a high dollar. It's not a bird, but it's within a few percent, I guess. And you know what? If you're average and peak, see, make sure you get one that's got average and peak on it at best. I mean, yeah, these are cheaper meters. I got a Bird coming. I prefer Bird or Dynascan or not Paradynamics. I have to look up. There's a Dyna something. It's just like a Bird. Takes a slug, uses Bird slugs. So that's what we're going to do. Anyway, that's this one at this point. And another little tip, guys. See this? My wife actually turned me onto this idea. Whenever I take one of these radios apart, I can tell you if it's been taken apart because 9 times out of 10, guys take all these screws out, okay? And if you look, all these screws are different. So when I take the face off, I put all the face screws here. When I take the case off, I put all the case screws here, here, and here. The bottom plate screws all go here. And this is why. Let's just take an example of the top. See, this is a countersink screw, okay? It's a countersinking head. It goes in the top in 2 very specific places. And then on the bottom of that same panel, on the bottom of the unit, it takes these go in 2 very specific places. I can't tell you how many times I've taken a radio apart and found these screws in the countersink holes because somebody tried to tighten a mic jack or whatever. As you're taking radios apart, put the screws together from the regions that they come from off the unit. When you reassemble the unit, put it all back where you got it. It keeps the radio pure, and it's actually the right way. I mean, here's the right way. The factory put it together that way. There's a reason. And you're going to find out some of these screws are different. I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist or nothing, but I mean, some of these screws are different, minutely different threads, different shank sizes. Put them back where they came from, okay? That's simple. Just little things like that will make your radio shine when you're done. So this is going to be a pretty badass little bass when I'm done. And we're going to post pictures after this video of the progress from this point. I broke it down to this point to show you all this easy stuff you can do at this point. It would have taken me 5 videos to get you to this point. So this one is about ready. We've tightened down the transformer and actually tested this. I'll get into that later. This one is actually going to be a dual mode supply. It's going to keep his supply in here. And he's going to do an external Super Duty style speaker. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to tell him as soon as he gets here today. And then, yeah, this is going to be a very nice radio. So check out the pictures after this. And check out the final video when it's all done. And we'll see you guys later. Thanks.